you want to learn how to rewire your inner beliefs, overcome mental blocks, and destructive thought patterns? Stay tuned. Coming up, you're going to learn how on the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast. F&I Direct is a company comprised of experts on F&I, reinsurance, digital showroom workflows, and much more. They help fix and improve your processes and guarantee results. If you're interested in finding out how you can increase your profit on every unit sold without giving up any of the money you're already making, visit guaranteeddealerprofits.com. Again, that's guaranteeddealerprofits.com. You can schedule a free strategy call and start being more profitable this month. So don't wait. Dynatron Software is the premier provider of automotive fixed operation data analytics, business intelligence, and pricing optimization. We are changing the way the automotive dealerships look at their service department profitability and revenue streams. We are laser focused on profit management for fixed operations and uncovering hidden opportunities for our clients. Reach out to us today, dynatronsoftware.com. Two words ring true for all of us in the automotive service space: the phones. When we hear those words, instantly we all sigh. Because as much change as our industry has seen, we still get an overwhelming amount of calls. No need to sigh, though. That's where a good BDC comes in handy, doesn't it? I know the team at Traver Connect personally, and these guys get it. And they can help you build your service BDC. Or you can use their team to catch calls you miss from their well-trained team of agents. Or have them make outbound calls and set new appointments. Give Traver Connect a call today. As they say, revenue doesn't leave a message at the beep. TraverConnect.com. Welcome back, everybody, to the Fixed Ops Mastermind. Today we have with us Angelina Zimmerman, who is a mindset coach and facilitator and much more. But I will let Angelina give a little brief introduction of herself and tell us kind of where she came from and how she got here.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Thank you so much. It's great to be here today. So as you said, yep, my name's Angelina Zimmerman. A lot of people call me Angie. And so I had my own podcast show last year for the last 4 years, Zillionaire Superstars. And I've just wrapped that up actually to start some new adventures in 2021. So I'm pretty excited to be doing that. As you said, I'm a mindset coach and facilitator. So I have my own company and I have my own clothing line called Zillionaire Creations as well.
Very cool. All right. So how does one end up being a mindset coach? How did that journey take place?
I love this question. Okay, so as we know, our mindset's formed from 0 to 7. So we're heavily influenced by those that bring us up, those that we surround ourselves with. When we're, little kids, we're like little sponges. We pick up absolutely everything, from the words people say to the actions that people take. We notice everything. And so that's basically, the beginnings of how we start programming our mind, if you like, because it is exactly that, simply a computer program. And guess what? We all need to update the programs at time to time, right? particularly when we're not getting the results that we want. And so that's what I'm so focused on. And look, it's funny, Dave, no one's actually ever asked me this question, but this all came about is because I've always been heavily focused on personal development, and I've spent a long time in learning and development itself as an industry because, let's face it, constantly learning and helping people. And so not only is it imperative for my role as a mindset coach, but I actually grew up with parents, quite, focused more towards scarcity than growth mindset, let's say. And it's no one's fault. It's the way they grew up as well. And so I wanted to change that. And so I've done everything in my power to do so. So, it's not like an overnight success or an overnight fix where we just go away, read a book and our mindset's working brilliantly again. It's a constant, daily upgrade that we've got to do. So there's lots of things I do to assist with that.
Excellent. So when you're talking about mindset and things, so basically you're just telling somebody think positive and that's it, right? That's all they need to do.
Oh, if only it were that easy. I would love that. No, but the fascinating thing, and one of the easiest things that absolutely everyone can do, is start noticing your own language. What language are you using on a day-to-day basis? And also notice those around you. Is it empowering or is it really disempowering? Is it negative? Is it positive? And now, we're breaking this down in really simple terms at the moment. There's a lot more to it. But this is, it's fascinating. So when I speak to a new client, I can tell so much by the words that they're using alone, as in what their beliefs are. And so it's quite funny too. There's a lot of aha moments for the client because they don't even realize it, right? Because it's a habit. It's a habit for them. Yeah. So that's a great way to start noticing what your mindset is.
Yeah, and a lot of us have that I guess it's just natural to think on the negative side of things, right? And a lot of us were brought up with parents who either had that scarcity mindset or just had the old employee mindset, I guess you would call it, where you grow up, you get a job, and you work for a bunch of years, and then you retire, and obviously the world has changed and is much different from that, and requires a very different mindset now to even if you're going to be an employee, it requires a much different mindset to be able to navigate this world. So how do you begin to assess the type of people that you're working with?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, language is definitely one of the biggest things. And then we look at their beliefs. So all of us will have self-limiting beliefs, whether we realise it or not, because, not every day we're feeling 1,000% ready to go, motivated, jumping around for joy. There are days when we have those down days, and that's obviously going to create that negative thinking more so, particularly if that does last for quite some time, leading to mental health issues or depression or things like that. And so the key is to obviously stay in that high vibration and to help yourself get out of that, or ask others to help you to get out of that. But basically, so it's the beliefs, it's the language we do a lot of work on, the two primary things. And then a lot of the work comes out of working on the beliefs, as you can imagine. So if someone says, I'm terrible at sales, and they're in the selling business, for example, selling property, we're going to have an issue. And so it's working on those personal and professional goals to boost their confidence by way of daily affirmations, setting goals that they want to achieve, having someone as a sounding board like a coach to help them accelerate. And I do find that the biggest benefit of working with someone is the huge, massive leap in confidence levels. I cannot tell you how it's changed people's lives.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. I spent a lot of time doubting the imposter syndrome, I guess you would call it, and not believing that I could do certain things as well as I could do them. And so, what type of people do you find most coming to you for mindset coaching and transformational coaching? Is there a certain type of person that usually is looking for?
Yeah, definitely. So it's changed over time. So when I first started my business, it was heavily geared more towards employees and entrepreneurs starting out who wanted assistance with their business and their business plans and goals, achieving those. And now it's moved more to executives and business owners and that type of thing. I still get entrepreneurs as well, but it is heavily focused more around the CEO executive levels now.
Yeah, as those executives start to realize how much power harnessing their mindset can wield for them, I'm sure there's a lot more people looking for you to help and give them that edge in business that they're looking for.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing too. I mean, you can work a lot around the professional goals, and what you'll find is that it will overlap with some of the personal goals. So just for an example, I was working with a client and he was having some issues with sleep and diet and exercise and all of those things. So really lack of energy. And as you know, if we don't have much energy, that's when we can get in one of those down states and find it hard to think more positively. I'm not joking. Once he nailed his sleeping pattern, everything changed really quickly for him. And he couldn't believe the difference in terms of how good he was feeling on a day-to-day basis, which, as you know, then helps you take action and move forward with more confidence. And so it was a matter of just working around those different aspects of his lifestyle that actually helped him to move further, and more quickly towards his professional goals, which was super exciting to see.
Wow, that's incredibly interesting. So, I mean, I guess most of us realize that sleep is important, but it certainly gets neglected as people are chasing goals. Sleep becomes the thing that's easy to put off for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, to work extra in an evening or getting up extra early. I mean, you listen to a lot of experts and they tell you got to be up early. You got to be up really, really early to do things. Well, if you're working extra late trying to build a business and then you're getting up extra early to build your business, you're missing out on that sleep part. So do you find that sleep pattern or lack of sleep is a big part of most of people's mindset issues?
Yeah, it's a danger for sure. I mean, we're seeing so many people now, overthinking. That's why they're not able to sleep, having stress, worries about their job or financial concerns, particularly, given the COVID experience that we all just went through, and that's not over just yet, unfortunately. So all of those types of things. So overthinking is definitely a big one. Insomnia, I think, is on the rise. I don't have actual stats, but I do hear a lot of people say that. And to me, sleep is magic. I know the difference between when I get 4 hours sleep to when I get, 7 hours sleep. Is probably the most I'll ever sleep these days. But it is a magic pill. I can assure you of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you, I have gone from being the person who used to sleep probably 4 to 5 hours a night to now I'm definitely in the 6 to 7 hour range.
Good move.
It definitely makes a big difference. A big difference. I was always the night owl, my mom called it, who always wanted to stay up very, very late, and I could easily stay up past midnight every single night, and waste time, watch some TV, and do some other things. But I know that it's definitely not serving me, especially as I get older. that sleep is becoming more important to maintain that energy level. And certainly you are absolutely correct. That energy level definitely ties into how you're feeling and what you're actually producing when you're trying to get the work done.
Correct. How can you be creative and energized and be attracting what you want into your life if you're constantly tired and, there's no creativity there and you're just trying to get through the day, and we're seriously pushing a boulder up a hill. So how can I ask, Dave, how did that come about for you? Like, what prompted your need to get more sleep?
I can't even say that it was a need to get more sleep. I think it was kind of listening to experts like you, talk about the importance of sleep, and I kind of shifted my patterns to where I try to make now 10 o'clock my shutdown time, where I don't go to bed any later than that. Every once in a while, if I'm watching a sports event or something and it comes past that, I may break that rule, but for the most part,
exception.
Yes, absolutely. I try to get into bed at 10 o'clock, and I try to maintain the getting up at the same time in the morning, which is usually around 6 o'clock. So I try to maintain that same pattern all the time, and I wish I could say it was a conscious decision where I said, I need more sleep, so I'm going to start going to bed earlier. But it just kind of evolved as I listened to more people talk about the importance of sleep. And I listened to, I can't remember his name now, but he was a Navy SEAL, and he was talking about the studies on sleep and just the absolute power that it held. And I said, well, that's an easy one. You don't need to go searching for that. You don't need to even work at that one to try to benefit out of that. You just go to bed and go to sleep. But
it sounds like you're getting results, which is even more amazing. And they do say if you can go to bed before midnight, there's higher quality sleep compared to going to bed after midnight. So that's awesome. Really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely has made a difference in what I can accomplish throughout a day, and obviously if you can accomplish more throughout a day, you can accomplish more throughout a week and throughout a year and throughout a lifetime. So that
love it.
Absolutely helped. So let's talk about this clothing line, because that somehow when I read about you, I missed this. So how do you have a clothing line, and what's that about?
Yeah, so Zillionaire Creations came about as a result of a really challenging breakup. Actually, it threw me for six. One of those life-changing moments. It was definitely one of those. And so I threw all my passion and energy into this clothing line. And so I'm obsessed with big cats. And so it's all that really, rah-rah energy, go, 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 go get them, that type of thing. So I think it would appeal more to males than females, only because some of the logos are quite, full on and lions and things like that. So it's definitely more the male energy, I think. And so it was just basically, work of passion and love. And I just so enjoyed the experience of creating this clothing line. And so I had visions in my mind of what I want to create. And then I worked with a, logo designer to get him to then bring it all to fruition so that I could have that printed on the clothes. So it's basically a very simple line, like hoodies, T-shirts, and hats, caps. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. When you said that, when you were introducing yourself, I was trying to connect the dots on how you go from what you were doing with your show and all of that, and being a mindset coach and things, to a clothing line. And I was trying to make that there.
No, actually, one of my mentors, whom I really love, who's based in the US, actually, I don't know if you've heard of him, Peter Voot. He's built pretty much an empire, and so he's a coach, he's a writer, he's also got a clothing line, he's got a book, he feels like he's everywhere. Yeah, he's pretty an amazing guy, and I think I was just really inspired by that. And also it just seemed a natural transition as opposed to something very different. Like it felt like part of my work and how I help clients, and so it was actually just another way to express that.
Very cool.
Yeah, I thought so.
Nothing's a straight line, right? Nothing's a straight line. Everything goes all different ways to get you. Excellent. So, in your work, as I lost how I wanted to ask that question.
All right.
As you are starting to work with somebody, how do you how do you, I know you said you start with listening to their language, their self-talk and things.
Yep.
Where does it progress from that? How much self-work are they doing during this coaching, to try and get into that growth mindset that you're looking to help them with?
Yeah. They don't just walk away from a session and then not do anything in between. Let's just say that. And I do like to have them, the sessions not far in between, to ensure that we do keep that motivation going, because I find that's a lot more beneficial. If you keep it like over a month, it's probably too long for most people, because let's face it, not everyone is self-motivated. Mm-hmm. I am, and I find it easy, but not everyone does. And so by having those regular sessions, I find that works really well. But what we do is identify the goals, and then when we start a session, we'll have a look at all the areas of their life, and I'll get them to give them a score of 1 to 10. And quite quickly, you can then see what the areas are that they would like to improve. And then that makes it easier in that visual way to then assess, okay, what action steps do I need to take? What would get that area of my life to a 10? So say if we're looking at fun, romance, family and friends, career, personal growth, all those areas, right? If you're looking at that in a visual way, you can quickly see, okay, these are really high scores. We don't need to worry about that. Obviously, that's working. All right, what are the areas that you want to improve on, and what actions can you take to do that? So it's really getting the client to, in a way, come up with their own action plan, but also I'm asking them questions that really get them thinking about what they want and what they want to do. And another key method that I use is Dr. John Demartini's values method. Now, what this does, it's different from other values. So say, Dave, most people will ask you, what are your values? Give you a list of values and go, okay, they're your values. No, this is not the way this one works. This is based on your real life. So say, for example, if I were to walk into your home, what would I see the most of in your room, like in the first room that I walked into, or in your home in general? So it might be books, it might be art, that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so we ask really good questions like that are based on their actual life to assess what values are most important. And the funny thing is, I did this with a girl not too long ago, actually. She's now lives in America as well. And she was in Australia at the time. And she actually thought her highest priority was career. But when it turned out we did her values, it actually came out that she wanted to find the love of her life and get married and have children. So, you know, sometimes we don't even realize our own values. And this is the beauty of this activity, is getting them to that realization.
Yeah. Do you find that often that people want to say that maybe they say their highest priority is their family? And yet they're working 90 hours a week, and you know, and they're using the excuse that they're just trying to make money for their family, to take care of their family.
Exactly.
And that those values don't always, not that may not be their actual value, but that the values are not necessarily aligning with what they're living.
Then correct, they're not living the value. I know a high-flying executive that often travels around the world, before COVID, obviously, and he is one of the best fathers in the world that I've ever seen. So not only does he say his family is important, he spends every spare second with his children and making sure they have amazing experiences, taking them everywhere, like just, you know, helping them to live their best life and teaching them along the way. And it's just phenomenal to watch, I've got to say. So he's a great example of actually living it. So not just saying it, even though he's working crazy hours, he's tired, he could come up with every excuse under the sun, like every executive. He doesn't. He gets up, hungover or not, on that Saturday morning, takes the kids around the world, takes the kids to church on Sunday. You know, it doesn't matter what's going on. There's no excuses. He just does it. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, I find as I talk to people that it's pretty easy to pick up when from what they're saying to what they're living they don't align, and they don't necessarily see them as not aligning, but that they just do not align with what they're living and what they're saying. It's completely different.
Well, I think sometimes too, people are wanting to say, what they deem as the right thing, or come across in a certain way, like maybe putting on a mask or a bit of a facade, and it sounds good and, appealing to people and, wanting people to like them, whatever the reason might be. There's a million and one reasons. But, and I think that's why it's a bit like, following society and the way everyone else does things. Okay, well, I've got to get married, I've got to buy a house, I've got to have children because that's what everyone else does, a bit like that.
Right. Yeah, I would completely agree with that, and especially when it comes to that alignment of what's most important to you, family or career. I don't think people with a family want to necessarily go out on the limb and say, no, my career is more important. Than
I know.
And maybe important isn't the right word, but maybe that my career right now is more of a priority than my family. I don't think people want to say that, even though they may be making their career more of a priority so that they can provide for their family better down the road. It gets frowned upon, if you will, when somebody says that their career is taking the number one and their family's taking the number two seat. So,
definitely. And I think too, Dave, that's so wrapped up in our identity, and it does become a bit of an addiction, right? Your job is everything, addicted to the busyness of it, the accolades that we get, the praise, all of those things. I want the next promotion. That all becomes really addictive for people and is part of their identity, which is why they find it hard to overcome that, let's say.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that chasing that next shiny object becomes very powerful for some people. And it can certainly become a dangerous game, right? Where you are now chasing that shiny object at the detriment of anything else in your life.
A speaker who's really good on that, actually. I've just come across his work. It's quite amazing if anyone wants to check it out. Have you heard of Carl Cease?
Yes.
Yeah. He's got some great videos around, people chasing, all you've heard the term, all that glitters is not gold.
Right.
So we're constantly chasing. And where does that get us? Usually nowhere.
Right. Exactly.
Or not where we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at the very least, not where you were, where you thought you were headed. That's for sure.
Yeah, totally.
So another question, when I was reading through some of your stuff, you were talking about theta waves and beta waves and things. Do you work with meditation and things with your clients to help bring them into those states?
Absolutely. So meditation and visualization, whichever the client prefers, because some people just go meditation, I don't want to know about it. Yeah. So they find it easier to visualize or have a guided visualization for them, which is great because there's so many available on YouTube and, you can buy them and what have you. They're so easily available. And so, yes, I do work with that. And you know what? It's amazing how quickly they embed that into their daily life and the power of that. So I was working with a business owner who's just jumped in leaps and bounds over the last couple of years, actually, since I've been working with him. And he started using meditation before he'd go in and see a client for sales pitches and things like that. And because you're operating in a completely different state when you're meditating, you're then able to make better decisions and come across in a completely different way to whether you're jumping up and down and had too much coffee and stressing or coming from a fear-based mindset. Does that make sense? So when sometimes people are in sales, that will happen because they're constantly pitching, they've got, it's a full-on job and it's just constantly, rinse and repeat, do the same thing time and time again. So therefore, if their mind's not in the right state, that's going to be a massive game changer for them. And that's exactly what he found. He got a lot more business by doing that and kept that as a new habit that he's continued on to this day with. So it's amazing the power of it once you start to do it. And I will tell everyone, yes, very frustrating at the start because we've all got that monkey mind and we don't want to shut it down.
Yes, I have meditated off and on. It is definitely a frustrating skill for me. I have. We talked about Rick Michael King earlier, and
Yes.
when I spoke to him, it was after the interview. We were talking about meditation and things, and he was saying that he can't meditate, that it bores him too much, and so that he gazes at a candle flame, so and just loses himself in the flame, the flickering of the flame, as a way to just take his mind away and quiet his mind and things. And I thought that was a pretty cool way to do that, because meditation for me is very difficult. There are times when I can do it very easily. There are times when I can't do it at all, and there are times when I try to do it and I just fall asleep.
And that's exactly what happens at the start. But do you know what? If you even did 2 to 5 minutes a day, I'm not joking, it will change your life over time. So don't, I think I always tell people, never worry about the time. Focus on just a small amount, the most you can do in a day is what I'm trying to say, at the right time, whether that's morning or evening for you, whatever works best. If you fall asleep, that's part of your process. Don't worry about it. Move on. Next day, do it all again. And you'll just notice a massive difference. And then, because that's how I did it, and I'm, queen of monkey mind, so I know all about, trying to calm it down. And seriously, now, I can do 20 to 30 minutes without blinking. Whereas before, I could never. I was lucky to get past 5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, it's also it's a good excuse for a nap too. You can just say
it is. And everyone's got a different way of doing it. So I say do it in your own way, whether that's lying down, whether that's sitting up, whether you need something, in the background, whatever works for you. Yeah. Just the key is doing it. That's it.
Absolutely. When I do it, that is typically what I do. I usually put my headphones, the little earbud things in, and put some sort of music on, so it drowns out everything else around me, so that makes it even easier to quiet your mind, because now you start hearing noises that are in the house or wherever you are, and that starts your mind thinking on other things too, which is what you're trying to quiet in the first place. So,
and I do find too, a dark room is ideal. That really can help. If you're sitting there with bright sun coming in and no eye mask on or anything, you're going to find it very hard. A nice dark room does make a massive difference. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. As fewer distractions as possible. That is correct. That is for sure. And you are right. You need to do it, even if it's 1 or 2 minutes a day. If for nothing else, just to sit with yourself for a little bit of time, and you start to really learn some things about yourself as you do that.
Oh, massively. The amount of downloads I get as a result of a really good meditation session is phenomenal, to say the least.
Well, Angie, this has been an awesome conversation. I greatly appreciate you taking some time from halfway across the world, or 3/4 of the way across the world, depending on how you want to measure that. And we really appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom. And from meditation to mindset, it is going to help the listeners improve their lives. What is the best way for people to get a hold of you?
LinkedIn. LinkedIn is definitely my favorite platform in the world. So please, send me a request. I would love to connect with you.
All right. I will make sure that is in the show notes, so that people can get your connection. And again, thank you very, very much for joining us. It was
Thanks, Dave.
Excellent conversation.
It has. It's been so much fun. I hope to see you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Another great episode of the Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast, folks. That was Angelina Zimmerman. You can find her on LinkedIn, and she is something else, helping people rewire their inner beliefs, overcome mental blocks, destructive thought patterns, and boosting their confidence to accelerate performance personally and professionally. just a great conversation there. And I hope you got some good takeaways, some thoughts on how to change your mindset. It's incredibly important to the success in your life. I would argue that it is probably step one in achieving massive success in your life. Go out, change your mindset, see everything for what it could be. It will absolutely change the way your life is wired. All right, everybody. Thank you again to our sponsors, Dynatron Software, F&I Direct, and Traver Connect. We are so grateful to have them supporting this podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. That is what helps us get this podcast out to more people. Share it with a friend. Share it with 2 friends. Ask them to share it with a friend or 2. We would be most grateful for that. Also, check out my coaching program, Vision and Values Coaching. You can find that on LinkedIn. And if you just go to my profile on LinkedIn, you can find the links to the Vision and Values Coaching. Feel free to email me to get more information about it, dave@backhousesuccess.com. Everybody, another incredible episode. Until next time.